Hello, and welcome to this quick introductory video on April's Lab Developer Workshop. Well, actually, I say April's Lab Developer Workshop, we are going to introduce a little bit more than that on this particular video. So, as always, April's Lab Developer Workshop, we will have a platform update. So we'll look at new features in the TMS and the LOD platforms. This can take up to an hour, depending on what we're actually releasing at that moment in time. And then we're actually going to introduce our Summer of Cloud Lab Developer Workshops. Starting with on the 28th of April, we're going to be looking at the introduction to Cloud Labs using the Skillable platform. So this really acts as a prerequisite for all of the other cloud activities we're going to be covering over the summer, hence the reason for the Summer of Cloud. Now, in the past, we've done Lab Developer Workshops on running Cloud Labs, but they have been pretty high level. So what we're actually going to do here is where we're going to dig a lot deeper under the covers, and we're going to spend more time talking about each of the scenarios, each of the technologies, and ultimately more time building labs associated with clouds and showing you what's going on in the back end of the cloud subscriptions as well. Now, with all that said, really before we can start to pull the layers back and sort of get under the hood a bit deeper, we do need to have a whole raft of prerequisite knowledge, and a lot of that is actually to do with the skillable capabilities and terminology. For example, we're very good at talking about CSR and CSS, but who really knows the difference and where that really sits in the solution? So the April event is going to be very much a precursor, a prerequisite for the rest of the event. So we would love you to attend this particular event just to get up to speed on a lot of the terms and a lot of the piece of information you're going to see when you start looking at the configuration. If you can't attend that event, appreciate, people are busy and commitments and so on, we would still really love you to go to the website and register for the materials. And that way you get sent the link after the event, and you would then be able to watch it before you then enroll on one of the subsequent events, because the subsequent events are going to assume you've watched that prerequisite activity, or you've watched this April the 28th event. So we'd really like you to turn up on April and come and spend some time with me. Now, just to give you a full breakdown, normally we don't give people this sort of highlight, in terms of the rest of the events. So the second event that we're going to do is actually going to be in the June. So we've skipped May there, you might notice. We'll come back to that in a second. So June the 30th, we'll actually do a sort of deep dive into the way we use Azure for cloud-related activities. We'll then do the same in July for AWS. So again, we'll pull the covers back a little bit for AWS. And then actually quite a lightly used feature, but something that we want to sort of talk about a little bit, is actually utilizing the virtualization fabric of a cloud. So rather than fill the cloud tab in saying I want to build cloud-based labs, actually when you've built maybe labs using virtual machines like Hyper-V and ESX vSphere, you would have noticed there's also options to select Azure or AWS. What's all that about? So we'll sort of look at that separately. So hopefully that will give us our Summer of Cloud, and hopefully you'll be sort of fully versed in building cloud-based labs at that point in time, and actually seeing if cloud solutions will actually form part of your wider offering. We will also have a few surprises as we go through this content, discussing a few things which people maybe don't realize that we can actually do. So hopefully we'll keep those a little bit secret for now, and but hopefully allow you to see some interesting capabilities that we have. As I've mentioned, obviously April is the introduction, and then we're going in June actually into the first of the sort of deep dive sessions. So May, we have a space. So effectively, we will have one of our biannual events in May. So we won't sort of take everybody's time up by having lab developer workshops and one of our biannual events. So if you, again, go to the Skillable website, you can find out about our event in May as well, if you're interested in that. And I would certainly recommend everybody look to attend that. So that's all it is from me at the moment. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hope to see you in April, and hope to see you at some point on the journey of our summer of cloud.